Hi, friends. Host Eric here. Host Talking with Famous People. Rachel,
Hi.
also here, co-hosting Tech with Famous People with me,
Yes.
and looking more and more gorgeous by the moment.
Oh, thank you, Faye. You are looking more and more gorgeous by the moment yourself.
Thanks. There's a good explanation for me, though. I took gorgeous pills this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's showing.
Well, I gotta admit, though, you can't expect too much from your gorgeous pills. Just slightly better looking is best you can expect from them. They're not really gonna make you gorgeous. It's like your beauty rest mattress doesn't really make you beautiful.
That's true. You're right. I like the compliment. Thank you, baby. You remind me.
That'd be a funny scene in that movie with Tom Cruise in it, when they're in the elevator and the deaf people are in there. Instead of saying "you complete me," she would like look exasperated. You remind me all the time of shit that I don't need to be reminded about. Can you please stop? So anyway, Kanye's side project. From now on, we're going to not call this America anymore. We're going to call it Kanye's side project. Where do you live? I live in Kanye's studio.
Yeah, basically.
I like the fact that Kanye's running for president. I think that's a typically bold move for him.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm sure underthought out. But, better.
Does that mean that he's going to be in, debates?
I don't know. Better underthought out than overthought out, which is my problem, or unable to get any kind of a foothold.
Yeah.
That's the basic problem. Is what's the way that Kanye makes himself people aware of the fact that he's running for president? He just makes an announcement. That's it.
Yep.
What happens when Eric makes an announcement? Nobody cares.
I care.
Thanks, darling. Does Kanye care though? That's the question.
We could get him to care.
If we get Kanye to get me on his ticket, I could really do his ticket.
I know,
it'd get a big boost,
You could be his. That gives you a big boost too.
Yeah, maybe I will make a.
It is a beneficial relationship.
A video upload that is specifically about Kanye and appeal to Kanye. Make me your vice president.
Yeah.
Put me on your ticket.
Wouldn't you take? I would take if I were you, I would take almost any position that has to do with writing, even speech writing. For him.
Right. Well, if I could get myself somehow into the public eye by that thing, then next time I could run for president.
Exactly.
Once you've served as vice president, you're extremely legitimate presidential candidate.
Then you skip all the hubbub that other people do.
And the thing is, it's not typically done this way. That the presidential candidate is afforded a lot more legitimacy because, well, at least he's got a good vice president who knows what he's talking about. But I could see it playing out that way in this election. It's like people need to believe that voting for Kanye is less crazy than voting for Trump. And the only way they're going to believe that is if he's got a truly sensible vice presidential candidate saying that's going to be saying in the outset, saying, "Look, I'm here to assist and make sure that all of the policies and stuff are talked out as best as possible. That we have the right ideas in place." That would require him to have some humility, I guess, which I don't know if he has. Right or not,
that is a good question when it comes to Kanye. I mean, he surprises me with his hubris all the time. So
it pays off in America. Look at Trump.
Yeah.
Look at Kanye.
Yeah, I know.
Of course, you got to execute it perfectly, or else it backfires. But it does, in certain circumstances, pay off to just have a boldness and a brazenness that I think Kanye is who she was referring to when she said that. Why, hello, Isaiah Rude.
Kanye.
Yes.
Hey, Isaiah Rude.
So, well, Kanye's running for president.
Did you hear what I hear?
A child, a child. Hi, Kanye. It's me, Eric, host Eric Stockman Festival. And good job on the running for president thing. Somebody had to step up and do something, right? Somebody had to step up and do something. Here's the deal. I don't know if you're ever going to see this video. 0.1% chance you ever will. But I'm going to make it out there, throw out a seed and see the sprouts.
You should.
I'm making it right now. And the point is, I've been talking about running for president for quite a while now. I was sort of acknowledging to myself I wasn't going to be able to run until 2024 because of a situation with my family and then the COVID stuff happened or whatever. So I was planning on running in 2024. But I'll tell you something, a little stroke of black horse genius here is put me as your vice president. Why? Because I am a professional debate coach and policy debate coach, and I'm extremely knowledgeable and informed about public policy. In addition, I'm rights respecting, small government in general, and just basically correct about all policy prescriptions. You and I suspect, would not be so far apart on our policy advocacies. Regardless, I would provide an instant intellectual legitimacy to a campaign that's going to be wanting for that, regardless of how well you think you understand the issues. You know, there's a certain manner of policy talk that conveys a higher degree of readiness, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
It's a weird idea, but if anybody is insightful enough to grab onto the very brilliant but weird idea like this, like, how about I get that random dude to be my vice presidential candidate? It's you. I actually am the most qualified person in America to do the job. I am also fluidly transracial, so I'll appeal to all the different races. I've been all the different races.
Also, if he's an ENFJ, you will benefit him.
Right. You're my beneficiary type. I'm the benefactor type. So if I could be helpful to you in your campaign, then I suspect I would. I mean, I will, but I suspect you find it very useful.
Yes. He's good with words.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my appeal to Kanye. I'm just going to upload that, I think, little video right there. I'm used to dealing with haters and stuff too, like Leonard Peen here. Complete hater.
Is he a hater?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He's the one that came in earlier and said father-daughter relationship.
Oh.
Then tried to pretend like, oh, no, I didn't. I was just honest mistake. But then he said something else equivalent a little bit later.
Oh, mean.
Like, no, it wasn't mean. That would require him to have been more successful in his endeavors. It was
trolly.
It was a piece of trash that I had to lean down to pick up to put in the trash can. So I guess it was bad in the sense that I had to lean down to pick it up. Right?
Did you give him a little show?
Yeah, well, what I did is I gave him a little reach around, and I weighed each of his testicles with my hands.
Nice,
it's a casual
very
weighing.
nice. Pee-Pee liked it too. Yes, she does. Pee-Pee loves Daddy. No matter what he does. So I read that when, you know, the cats like present like the dead animals. It's like a gift. You told me that.
Yeah, it's true.
I should feel so honored, but it's so conflicting at the same time. Like I play it over in my head. Because I really was frozen. I was like, what do I do right now? I'm not going to shame her. I didn't shame her. But I also want to have to clean the dead blood up. You know what? I would do anything for Pee-Pee, though. I would. Those were great gifts. Thank you, Pee-Pee, for the gift of a bunny who got away and of a bird that also got away.
Yeah, thanks, Pee-Pee. We really appreciate those things. I was going to use it, and then I lost it. But it's like, oh, this is the most useful gift I've gotten in a long time.
That's where the conflict comes in, too. It's like her gifts to you are not the ones that you want. Where is that kitty cat? There you are, meow pants. Yes, good girl. Only you be president of America. Meow pants, meow pants, I love your little meows. Yeah.
Monetization off. Visibility.
So much better.
Publish.
Good job, Pete.
Yeah. There. There. So I just made an appeal to an appeal to Kanye West. Talk about not just a hater but a liar too, huh? Leonard, you're on timeout.
No.
Anybody who knows me well enough to know that currently I'm functioning as a member of my family rather than an independent agent also knows that for most of my adult life, I worked very hard, with plenty of money, supported my family, lived in a different place, all that shit. This is the new arrangement. It's ridiculous. So, Leonard Peen, your sour hatred and lies are not going to be tolerated around here. Sorry. I know you hate me, so go away. Why do you want to be around somebody you hate? Be smart. If you hate me that much, then leave. Go away. Makes sense, right? Of course, to answer that question, not only have my dad not paid my bills for the past 55 years or so, but I was the director of one of the most successful, in fact, you could easily argue it was the most successful middle school debate program in the country for about 4 or 5 years where I was in charge of it. We won the award to prove it anyway. And of course, I had to be responsible for lots of monetary stuff. I owned my own business, Autonomy Debate, for a couple of years. Had to be responsible for running that business finances too. I had to put together, trips and stuff. And so obviously your reductive bullshit is not going to fly. I am so much more successful, accomplished, and all these sort of manner of things than you will ever be. It's ridiculous. So shame on you. Shame on you for your lies and reduction. God, the haters I have around here. They're so spiteful and I kind of get a kick out of it, but it's like, wow, this person devotes a lot of their life to me. just hating me, looking for things to hate about me. Oh, well. Stupid people do stupid things. I do suck. You're right, David White. It's all my fault.
You're my baby, the bay of all.
Thanks, Charlie.
Oh, the bay of pig.
You know what's hilarious is who's the one who talks that kind of, who's historically talked that kind of shit about me? Like, was your dad, you lived with your dad's paying your bills, whatever? Becky. That's the one who's historically done that. The crazy thing is, Becky gets free Canadian government money to live on because she's an Indian, a Native American or something. Native Canadian.
Wow. Wow.
She's a Micmac. She's like 1/16th Micmac or something. She claims she has a disability. She games the system to get free money from the government.
See, that's
not legitimately. If you go on disability, it's legitimate. You have an actual thing. She's just being an amorally NDP.
Those are the people that are messing up the system for people who actually really need it too.
Yeah, but that's Canada, so that's not our system to worry about, really, I guess. Mm-hmm. You seem down tonight. What's going on? I don't feel down.
Do you?
No,
that's
I don't feel down. I guess what happened is I thought to myself, I felt a little bit of sense of like when I realized the difference between your ability to accomplish things when you have a big platform, when you can get your voice heard nationally just by making a PR announcement or something like Kanye did, versus the challenges for somebody who doesn't have that ability.
I know. You're working on TE polar tests, Isaiah? That's great.
I think that remote association test might be a good one for to test NI. I'd like to administer it to my dad to see if I can sort of calibrate it that way and see how he goes on, But not right now. Later, maybe.
I think that.
Are you gonna put this down?
No. Okay. I was evening it out.
All right, cool. There's the guitar back there.
The guitar's right there?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, so look, Isaiah Rude, the TE tests that I've used before that seem to be pretty promising are divide a simple task into eight even-sized steps. So, like, divide making a bowl of cereal for yourself into 8 even-sized steps. The first one beginning in a natural beginning, and the last one ending with you're done, eat up, or whatever, And people who have TE polar, I think, get 4 or 5 steps in before they really think, maybe I should plan my steps ahead so that I can fit them like I'm supposed to in 8 steps. So that seems to be somewhat revelatory for me. I don't know if that information, you can use that to improve your TE polar test or not, but just a notion I'd throw out there, I thought. I have a lot of, I guess you'd say, stuff I want to do right now as far as function videos goes, which is unusual. I've been kind of not feeling functions for a while, but Leonard, okay, I'm offended that you're ignoring what I said. I said you're a liar.
Truth of your life?
You're a liar. You said my dad has paid my bills for 55 years. Absolutely not the truth. I'm not even 55 years old.
That's funny.
Okay. And to the extent that I'm getting some money from my dad right now, I'm okay with that. I'm not ashamed of it. I am happy to be enabled to live the life I live. And is that something to do with my family and access to some family money? Yeah, it does. I'm not ashamed of it.
Exactly.
I am tired of letting hate monkeys be hateful, but I'm not ashamed of it at all. I'm helping my dad. I help him with his tech shit. I got his printer set up. I'm always helping explain emails to him. And what does this dangerous thing sounding thing mean? He's hard of hearing after that. Basically, had all his phone calls for him. Prior to my mom being put in a nursing home, I was definitely earning the money because I was doing caregiving. In fact, I felt like I was getting rather poorly paid for it, but whatever. I certainly didn't want to complain about it or anything. It's my duty regardless. But yeah, I'm fine with my lifestyle. I've chosen it. I've actively chosen this. I could work more like I used to and be around less and be more stressed out and stuff and make less good fun stuff. I could do stupid stuff like that. I don't want to make that stupid choice. I'm happy with my choice.
You've already, like, I feel like you've lived so many lives already.
I rented the same house in Temple City for 20 years. Okay? So it was like I had a mortgage, basically, except I didn't ever own the house. I rented that house. I lived there with my first wife, gave birth to the child, and she grew up in that house. I had the second wife. The whole duration of both those marriages was at that house in Temple City. I went from a part-time, I went from a full-time regular special ed teacher to a part-time regular ed teacher to a full-time regular ed teacher and part-time debate coach to a full-time debate director. So, I mean, by the end of that period of time, I was working a lot. You know, right after I quit drinking, I barely had time to get my bearings before my work shipped me off to open branches in Shanghai. And in Taiwan too. I had a separate trip. I had to go to Taiwan. That was earlier. That was before I quit drinking in Taiwan. But the thing is, that's the kind of shit I've done in my life. I've stood up on the stage at the national tournament, holding the School of Awesomeness award they give out for sweeps. It's called School of Excellence debate, School of Excellence speech, or School of Excellence overall. They have 2 debate, 2 speech, 1 overall, and I'll hand out 5 of those. There's hundreds of schools there. I won those. I won 3 of them one year. I won speech, debate, and overall one year. Wow. In fact, 2 years, I think we won all 3 of them. And I never went a year without winning one of them for the whole duration of my time as a director there, which is unheard of. Like, I'm like, you know, you're sitting there, you're some scrub in an audience talking to Nick Saban after he's retired and going, "You loser, you never had a real job." Like, you're just so crazily wrong, it's insane. No, David White, look, this is the thing. The great thing about being an EHP is I don't resent when people make stupid fucking bullshit arguments like that because it gives me a chance to correct them on the flow. Now, moron, I'm sure feels like a moron. They probably knew this to begin with, but they're trying to goad me or something. I don't mind being goaded into defending myself because what I have to actually say the truth about myself is makes me look pretty good, frankly.
Yeah.
I'm sure it makes me look a lot better than the truth about whatever that person's name was. And I'm sure that person doesn't look good when the truth is shined on them. They're not here with a real profile with a picture acting like themselves.
Yeah.
They're a hate monkey, a spite monkey. So, you know, spite monkeys they're pitiful creatures is what they are. They're pitiful ultimately. I don't necessarily pity them because I'm not that kind, I guess, but it's pitiful because here they are spending their time trying to make me feel bad because they're jealous, basically. Or because they didn't like being wrong sometimes they interacted with me or whatever. How convenient for Satanists that humanity worships blood sacrifice. Cloud, the sentences that come out of your mouth, Cloud, are just so much fun. In truth, Christ never was crucified. He ascended without any problems. Really? This is news. When did you find this out? Was there an extra chapter to the Bible that you found in the dirt behind your house that explained how Jesus was never crucified, actually? He just ascended to heaven.
He just hung out in a cave. I mean, let's be real. He was a caveman.
He faked his own death. He faked his own death when people caught him. He's like, no, I did that. I am risen. I have risen from the dead.
Exactly.
Okay, Lamping, congrats on spending the evening on timeout. Congratulations. I love to think of you here hanging out, listening to me while being on timeout again and again. It's hilarious. Christ set up ascension timeline. That was his purpose on earth. He didn't come here to suffer for our sins. That's silly. Why should someone else suffer for my sins? Well, it's because of the idea that we forgive others who trespass against us as they forgive us for trespassing against them. The idea is that Jesus took, when some specific person sinned against Jesus, he forgave not only that person, but generalized his forgiveness to all instances of that sin wherever it should occur, if that forgiveness is sought. If you really want an analysis of it for some reason.
I really like him.
What did Peen just say? I don't know. Something harmless, but I'm feeling like not having it, you know? I'm feeling like arbitrarily.
I really love the idea of him like living in a cave. I was dead. No.
I know, it's like he's got somebody who's helping him hide out, right? And the person who's helping him hide out, they see the like disciples coming, and he's like, "Oh shit, we're caught." And she's like, "No. Listen, just don't see me. Keep your mouth shut. Just follow my lead, okay?" Whoa.
I think this is more close to the truth.
Why should I be expected to believe the Bible narrative without any logical explanation?
Oh
No, I mean, I'm not asking you to believe it. I'm just asking you to agree as to what it is. Right? For example, the story of the three little pigs is a story that involves three pigs, three houses made out of different things, a wolf that blows them down. The story of the three little pigs is not about two alligators and a bag of candy, right? So what you're saying is, I found out the real story of the three little pigs. It's two alligators and a bag of candy. Wait, what? What do you mean?
Two alligators and a
We don't have to believe the story of the three little pigs to believe that we know what it is. Cloud, but listen to me. This one is important for you to hear, okay? You can get this one, no problem. We don't have to believe the narrative to believe the narrative exists.
How long was he like in the tomb anyway?
7 days?
7 days. It was
right?
I don't know. On the 7th day he rose again. Is that? But that sounds like how Earth was made too. On the 7th day.
Maybe the 3rd day. I think he rose on the 3rd day. I think that well, here's the thing. He probably here's the deal. So they crucify him, he's dead, right? And they put him in a tomb. He wakes immediately up because he's right away back alive. He was only dead for a second. But now he's back in the tomb. But he still has to heal, So what he does is he has to stuff stuff into the holes in his hands and his feet, like sand or something.
His feet in the hand. Yes, the feet in the sand. Yes.
Okay, but Cloud, your argument is that the story of the three little pigs is actually the story of two alligators and a bag of candy. I'm asking you, why do you think that?
I like two alligators and a bag of candy.
My friend Corey, that you talk about sometimes sounds exactly like your dad. It seems like some INFJs display more standoffishness and aloof than others. Corey most people would probably not describe Corey as standoffish or aloof because he's mastered that trick that INFJs have of seeming really friendly while actually not being very friendly.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Well, it's at social events, it's like a playground. Like, that's how I view it. But I'm 7.
Social events are like a playground? Because you get to go talk to different people or what?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That's how I see it. But I can't do it all the time. Like, like most sexes, but
They have a few close relationships. That's the thing. Is INFJs are not they don't want to be isolated. They just find that most people are inadequately intuitive for them to safely be around long term. Cloud is the son of heaven, but he got so high some millennia ago and skipped out on his friends for a long time, and now he's back and they've wandered off. So he's like, bro, what? Instead of vote for Eric buttons, you should hand out clown noses with your face on them. Perm do both. I'm going to permute your advocacy. There's nothing that precludes me from both handing out clown noses and buttons that say vote for me.
I'm gonna wear the buttons and noses too.
And be righteous. Let's all be righteous.
Be righteous.
Or if we don't want to be righteous, let's at least begin using the word righteous.
Like
righteous, bro. Righteous.
That didn't last like very long.
Righteous. The opposite of righteous is transgressive. So I am feeling what you call extroverted intuition mush out, where I've got a lot of sort of half-formed notions at the moment that aren't really driving me motivationally to realize any of them in full. But it's okay. I still am. Some of the work that I do on music, for example, is I have to I'm building up SI experiential knowledge of the thing. I need to build up a lot of it before the NI becomes clear to me.
I think that's a good way of going about it, though. At least you do it, There's a lot of ENTPs who just, they quit it. They'll get halfway through and it's gone.
Why should we wear the cross around our necks if it's a torture device? I think Christians wear crosses because it is there to remind them of the suffering of Christ, the suffering that Christ did for your sins, quote unquote.
Yeah. A lot of people think of it as like a protective thing too. Like,
right. Note that nobody except you, Cloud, thinks that wearing a crucifix means you are in favor of being crucified. You're the only person who interprets it.
That is very funny. Hey, what's up, KKSP?
Oh my gosh.
Please, Eric.
Can Krishna Sarma Pagu. She's here. She's Can, she's here. She's Sarma, she's here. She's Pagu, she's here. She's Krishna, and she doesn't want any more bears.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the song?
We're here. We're queer.
No,
we don't want any more bears.
No, the Can Krishna song.
Oh, it's Can Krishna Sarma Pagu. Can Krishna Sarma Pagu. Hey, do what you do. You put poo on my shoe. Can Krishna Sarma Pagu.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. Can Krishna Sarma Pagu.
Got her own song.
If I'm ever going to get Kanye's attention, it'd probably be with this, with my womanhood rap.
Womanhood rap?
Yeah. Big, I'm bold, I'm beautiful. Stop looking at my tits. I'm big, I'm bold. Womanhood, I'm big, I'm bold, I'm beautiful. Stop looking at my tits. I'm big, I'm bold. Womanhood, I'm big, I'm bold, I'm beautiful. Stop looking at my tits. I'm big, I'm bold. My womanhood, vaginal blood sploosh splash party, everybody. You're all invited to the vaginal blood sploosh splash party. It's a vaginal blood sploosh splash party, and you're all invited to the vaginal blood sploosh splash party. Because I'm big, I'm bold, I'm beautiful. Stop staring at my tits. I'm big, I'm bold. Womanhood, I'm big, I'm bold, I'm beautiful. Stop staring at my tits. I'm big, I'm fierce. Womanhood. Now, tell me Kanye doesn't want me as his vice president. He does, after that. He's watching right now. He's like, fuck, Eric's right. He is my vice president.
Pee left.
Vaginal blood sploosh splash party, y'all. In the house.
Pee-pee's like, you can't.
I'm big. I'm bold. I'm beautiful. Stop staring at my tits. I'm big. I'm bold. I'm beautiful. Stop staring at my tits. Will you guys stop staring at my tits, please? What do you think? You like my song? It's actually instrumental, but I decided to put those lyrics in there too.
She told me to come back inside.
Okay. Let's see what Horse Smoker says. Well, in Cloud's
stuck in
defense.
my head now.
Oh, yeah, I'm big, I'm bold, I'm beautiful.
Yes.
My musical abortions or playing YouTuber, huh? Leonard Peen, which of your accomplishments are you proud of? Are you most proud of spending now 24 minutes in timeout on my channel because you hate me so much? Are you proud of that? You remember, at any moment, Leonard Peen could leave.
Yeah, I know.
Instead, he sees and waits for his timeout to wear out, and so he can come say one more thing and provide a timeout again. What are you so proud of, Leonard Peen, that you're doing that's so worthwhile? Nothing at all? Tell him it's a growth process.
Yeah.
To find things to encourage you, because you will.
Yeah, ways to encourage.
You're young. You know, it's a growth process. And the other thing is, you're better than that. I've heard your experimentations a little bit, like your rap thing and stuff. You know, you've got mad skills and talent. So it's just a matter of reminding your dad that you're not presenting him things that you believe are like mature realized work, that this is part of the growth process.
Yeah.
And you might stumble upon a mature realized work early in the growth process. That happens sometimes. You come up with some brilliant song or whatever when you're still just basically starting. But so it's like moments of genius can happen at any time. But by and large, if you frame it as I'm still a beginner and I'm working this shit out, I appreciate your feedback. But, you know, I respond well to pats on the back as well as kicks in the ass.
Yeah. And it's hard because I think, or I should say, it's got to be tough for you because I know INFJs are really, really snotty about their music, about music in general, or like art and stuff. So
does he act that way about pieces of writing you do? I would try writing some fiction and stuff, you know, because it's our most natural medium. So you're going to be most naturally successful right at the gates with writing. Your skills with language are, you know, top notch. So You might want to take advantage of that rather than working out of medium.
Yeah.
It's even worse for you working out of medium, to be blunt, Isaiah, because you don't have very good pitch. And I was born with very good pitch. So that's an advantage I have. But you were born with the same talent level as far as writing goes. You'll be most successful in that medium. Let's see.
What up, CJ O'Connell?
Traditions of men, indeed. That's for sure the problem, isn't it? You're an Orthodox Christian. Where's traditions of men? Where does it say that? I want to see what's being said about that. The Bible warns of traditions of men. It should be Catholic as well. The Bible warns about traditions of men. Well, the thing is, I tend to think very positively about that expression, traditions of men, mostly because it reminds me of the term habits of democracy that de Tocqueville used. So I do see the traditions of men as having an important place in forming a just and free secular society, regardless of one's beliefs. Well, okay. Yes, Cloud is insanely wrong, but it's not the case the Bible is suppressed by anybody. Except, in some countries it is, but not here. Sup, Rachel, sup, Eric, sup, CJ O'Connell. I think I need to pull a bong rip here, and then I might even feel any questions. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? I want to talk about anything in particular? I've got so many different threads of stuff I could talk about or think about or play with or whatever that's it's difficult to focus. A Whirlwind of Meow is a good title for a book. Good title. Good title for an ontological expose. People thought meow, 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 but really, I was just a whirlwind of meow. It's a good title for a one person play. One woman play, one man play. Well, I am continuing to allow you to be here, Leonard. Congratulations. I'm just putting you on timeout again. I enjoy wasting your evening. If I may, at what age were you beaten with the ugly stick? Birth, I think. Yeah. All right, sure. I fortunately haven't been insecure about my appearance for a very long time. I'm obviously not, any sort of genetic lottery winner in terms of my looks, but I also have some things that I'm lucky about, and so I really am in no place to complain. For example, I'm tall, which is generally considered a good thing for males as far as just basic like social attractiveness mores or whatever you want to say. I'm not saying they're right, but I'm just saying it's kind of standardly felt. Same thing with thin. I got a very high metabolism, so I've never been. Nobody's ever even dreamed of calling me fat. Again, not that it's good to be skinny, but just that there tends to be a social consensus regarding that. So I feel in that regard, I got lucky on enough important things that I couldn't really complain about the areas where I didn't get so lucky. I am also having a beard helps. I'm more attractive with a beard by a good substantial amount than I am without it. It fattens up my face, makes it look less pointy. The other thing is, I realized at some point that as a man, as long as I fit in the range of not attention drawingly unattractive in some way, then I mostly be judged on other things by women. Like, I mean, I'm not more attractive now than I used to be, but I'm way more desirable to women. Hi, Paulina. Paulina, Paulina, Bobina, Smomina, Mamina, Coquino. Hi, Matthew Alistair. Hey, listen, please don't call me a bitch. Right now, I'm in my most womanly stage of my transgenderism. So, as a consequence, because I'm at my most womanly stage of transgenderism, I prefer you not to call me a bitch. Okay, you can call it man. That's fine. Today, I choose joy. Your height is the height is a genetic lucky thing, but I got my mom's nose, which was definitely a genetic unlucky thing for as far as looks go, and I got my dad's teeth, which was a genetic unlucky thing because he and I both have weak teeth, they weak enamel, and just generally they break easy, and they and I have to get fillings a lot and stuff. So there's that. And well, they were actually straight. I never got braces or anything. They were pretty straight, but they're not very good teeth. I guess they break easily, and I've had a lot of dental work already. But as genetic deficits go, I got pretty lucky. My eyesight is good. At 49 now, I have to wear reading glasses to look at small print, but that's normal. And when I'm not looking at small print, then I can see very clearly even at a distance. Well, thank you, Lawnmower. I appreciate you saying that. And my hearing's very good. I don't feel like I've lost my hearing at all. I've been pretty protective about my hearing my whole adult life. I went to a few concert where I didn't put stuff in my ear and stuff, and I play a couple of shows where I didn't put earplugs in. But by and large, for any loud shows or playing shows where I stand in front of amps and stuff like that, I'd put earplugs in because I wanted to protect my hearing. And I appreciate my foresight as a young man in that regard, because my dad is totally deaf, and I don't want to end up like him. Music's too important to me. All right, so that's a good question, CJ O'Connell. CJ says, obviously, I can make my intentions and actions good with art. But what about creatives with bad intentions and actions? Well, let's see. I would say that creatives with bad intentions and actions, basically, to be such a thing would suggest that your creative endeavor is motivated by spite in some regard. Other than that, you're just probably wrong and not wicked. It may be the case that somebody's motivated by spite. For example, a hit piece like Queen's Gambit did on me. It was just a hit piece. There wasn't any legitimacy to the critiques or anything. He was just really mad at me. So he wanted to make a video to make me feel bad. Well, that's probably the biggest extent to which creative impulses link with bad intentions. You could talk about sort of propaganda in World War II Germany that employed artists to zazz up posters spreading the party line, whatever it is, or in communist countries as well. Okay, sure, I don't care. I'll leave the peen comments. We'll see how long Leonard wants to stick around and make nasty comments. What's his point? That, like a lot of people, I'm not rich. That, like a lot of people, I'm kind of, given the opportunity to slack a bit, I'll take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? And I think your dad really does like enjoy you being around.
Yeah, I think he does. My dad and I get along great.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I provide utility to him.
Yeah.
Regardless, he is the one who's always saying, correcting himself and saying, we talk about his money, and he goes, I mean, our money. Of course, it's not our money; it's his money.
Aw, it's so nice.
But I appreciate his efforts to make sure that I feel like, that it's a family thing.
Yeah, it's so nice.
The thing is, I suppose if I had a pressing need, that I would be able to access more of the monies. If I wanted to spend the political capital, so to speak, I could probably make some big presentation to my dad and involve the fact that he said that in saying, well, look, you keep saying it's ours. So I could make those arguments, but I'm never going to.
It's probably smarter.
Or put it this way. If I ever am going to have to ask him for something besides this is sort of our arrangement here. So it's not like I'm hitting him up for money, right? It's just when I moved in to help with my mom, we had an arrangement. I'm not showing weakness. The truth is not weakness. I like the fact that this asshat is coming here with this particular attack. Why do I like it? Well, because it's a pure FE attack. So it's one to which I'm a little bit more susceptible than, say, a TI attack. But I do need to have my own narratives written regarding this FE attack, because whatever attacks are even conceivable to make will be made the bigger and more notorious you get. The bigger my profile, the more I will be subject to attacks. And because I'm so open and transparent and honest about my life, whatever there is in my life will, in fact, be used to attack me. So I should get used to it. And I need to, know how to respond to it. And, it's a tricky one. It's like I'm being accused of failing to have enough adultishness to me. Of course, it's really strange for me to get that accusation, but that's what happens when people look at you in a short window of time.
Yeah.
And I'm 49 years old, and they may have known me for a few years on the internet or something, but that's not my normal life. Prior to that, prior to moving away from Temple City, I had a very, very different life. I mean, the thing is, I don't think that I think in general, David White, it's a good idea to ignore stuff that's just being spiteful. But I find that the rules of not responding to people are generally less applicable to me, although they're still applicable to me, but less applicable to me than most people, because even somebody who's just being purely spiteful, I'm pretty good at rhetorical aikido. In other words, I can use the energy they're directing at me, redirect it, and have them be hurt by their own negative energies.
True.
So I'm never really afraid to engage those things, but I agree it sometimes just encourages them and probably makes me look like I'm indulging in some sort of weakness. But you see, I explain myself about everything. That's the thing. You got.
I am proud to be his girl.
Yeah, she is.
He's a handsome young fella. We go traveling together. We have fun together. We talk about many different things and agree about a lot of different things too.
Let's see. Lawnmower. Have you let yourself get dragged into a cloud rabbit hole?
Oh.
If someone defames you, act like it doesn't faze you. If someone praises you, accept it with no arrogance. I mean, those are generally good rules of thumb. However, if somebody defames you, you always have the opportunity to turn that defamation against them and say, regardless of what you're saying about me, you are a defamer.
That's true.
Well, I mean, I'm not a freeloader. My family doesn't get any money from the government or whatever. I mean, Rachel might eventually get disability, but if anybody's entitled to it, she certainly qualifies. She is not faking anything.
And I've worked a long time too in different jobs.
And most importantly,
I paid into it.
The system is what the system is. It's like what comprises a freeloader? Well, a freeloader is somebody who's unwilling to engage honestly with their environment. I'm engaging honestly with my environment, so I'm not a freeloader, which is to say, I'm not living beyond my means. I'm not expecting things that I can't afford. I'm making the choice and understanding it comes with good things and bad things. I'm not freeloading off my dad. You are a hateful, awful person. I get it. You hate me. It's like it doesn't matter what you say. The message is very clear. You hate me. Probably jealous, but I don't know about that for sure. But definitely you are. I make you so upset. So
Look at the moon outside.
That's not new for me. This has happened my whole life. I've always encountered people like you who are so enamored with me, so enamored of me. Often it's negative, but like you care so much about me, Leonard. Care so much. I can't do anything about that. I can't be your buddy. I can't be your brother or your father or your whatever. You want to be my proud girl?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that your life hasn't gone the way you wanted to, or that you think you're more deserving of attention than me, or whatever it is that's motivating you. I'm sorry to happen to you. Do you think that we're stuck with the pitch we have and that there's no easy way to improve it? If so, it's a huge bummer. No, you can improve your pitch. You're not tone deaf, so you can improve it. You got to train. You got to do some pitch training. What I'm saying is my pitch now is much better than it was when I was a little kid, probably, but it was still quite good when I was a little kid. It's one of the few things that there can actually be legitimate what do you call it? Prodigies kind of stuff. Yeah, you can. You can improve your pitch. Curious Kyra. That's not true. You can't improve pitch. Oh, I see. You're answering no way you're not stuck with it. Okay. Then we're on the same page there, Kyra. Yeah, let's do a little psychology on Leonard. So what's bothering you, Leonard, for real? It's not me. That's just where you're directing it. Well, I mean, you're putting a lot of effort towards the sass. At this point, you have to be genuinely clever and funny and interesting to really, I think, make any kind of positive impact of the sort from your perspective. But I am curious, like, so what is it? Why do you hate me so much? I've never been able to actually talk to a hate monkey and have them put aside their hate for a second and just talk to me like a human being. So please do tell me, Leonard. Maybe you can do a little self-analysis, figure out what's going on with you, What are you hurting about? You're hurting about something, or else you wouldn't be lashing out wildly at me for some reason.
What happened?
I'm just trying to figure out Leonard Peen a little bit.
Oh, Leonard Peen.
I was curious because I've not really had an opportunity to sit down and have a real conversation with hate monkeys, because spy monkeys, they don't even say who they are. They hide their identity and are afraid to talk to me. Desperately afraid to talk to me. Leonard, would you like to talk to me right now in a room? We can go talk face to face.
Yes, it's your daddy.
And you can sass me all you want. You want to do that? I'll put the link. We'll talk on video conference right now. And we'll make a live stream about it. Come on, it'll be fun.
Capio, little cat, you're the cutest of all them. Kitty pageant winner. Your name is Capio.
Yeah, sure, Leonard. Yeah, you can tell me how ashamed I should be for not making more money than I'm making right now. Would you like to do that? You really want to shame me, I can tell. I'll give you a chance to shame me. Come on.
Yes, you are. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you.
Of course, if you're too embarrassed to show who you are,
It's okay, baby.
maybe you should rethink your positions. Because I'm not embarrassed about any of my positions.
Yes.
3. God is just and benevolent. We are offered a free gift as a result of the actions done by Christ. As Christ said, this world is not his kingdom. It's actually Satan's. Well, did Christ say the part in parentheses too? I don't think just because if Christ said the world is not God's kingdom, he's just saying you're not in heaven right now. It doesn't necessarily mean it's Satan's kingdom. You don't think you can. Okay. Shocking. Oh, that's right. I'm not at all surprised by that.
Oh, Miss Capio. Oh, can you imagine?
Well, look, you got to remember also when you're talking about words in a book that words, the meaning of words changes over time, and that the meaning of a sentence is not exactly usually binary entirely. There's some interpretive room there, varying degrees of interpretive room depending on how much metaphor is used in what's spoken. But remember that statements have a mechanic to them that relates to truth. So the statements are truth. A statement can be true and phrased in different ways and still be true. If I were to say that, in general, full-grown dogs are larger than full-grown house cats. If I were to say that, it's a true statement. I could additionally phrase it in an entirely different way. More often than not, a dog is larger than a cat. Both are true statements. They're both different statements, but they both say the same thing. So you have to remember that words convey meaning about something specific, and you have to factor that in. They don't just the idea that more original words are more true is not correct. Who's pretending to lie, James? Who's pretending to lie? Is it Jesus? Is he pretending to lie?
Yeah. Is he?
It's inferred, Eric. When Satan tempted Jesus, he tempted Christ with great earthly possessions. Well, why should we infer from that the kingdom of earth is currently the kingdom of Satan?
Yeah.
I thought you can't infer that from the former. You can't infer the latter from the former.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard is Memon? What's Memon? What does that mean? Well, I'm not engaged. Just for the record, don't mean to be busting anybody's chops or be a party pooper, but just for the record, I formally oppose genital shaming.
What?
Well, there's a little bit of genital shaming going on.
Oh, I definitely am opposed to genital shaming. Not in our chat.
Christ did say the world is not his kingdom, but that does not mean it's Satan's kingdom. Correct. I think probably what Christ was trying to convey is that the kingdom of heaven is not earth. I like the fact that that was explicitly said because I've posited before the alternative, which is maybe we are currently in heaven. But the reason I like the idea that Jesus said that this is not heaven is because it would seem as though he anticipated the argument. And I like that. I like smart arguers. I don't think Leonard's memeing, as far as I can tell. I think he's just doing some effy shit, I guess. I don't know. This world is full of lies. Why do you think this world is so full of lies? What? Give me examples. Now, granted, I would agree with you currently that the current media landscape, the narratives coming out about various things are horrible, but they're not really lies exactly. It's just a horrible mismanagement of policy narrative. So what do you think? In what way do you think the world is full of lies? Can you give me some examples of lies the world tells? Does the world misrepresent its age? It's actually 4 billion years old, but it's always telling people it's 3.5 billion years old. We both agree that the world belongs to Satan. This is you and Lawnmower, right? We both agree that the world belongs to Satan and both of us don't belong in materialistic earth. The Bible does say Satan roams around like a lion on earth. He roams around like a lion on earth, huh? If he roamed like a lion, it would seem he'd only be in one place at a time. Maybe, Morich, maybe. I don't think Cloud's full of lies either. I just think he's full of wildly provocative, unwarranted statements. Which is fine. This makes a fun adventure. And hey, look what I got for you guys again today. What do you got in the bag, Cloud? I got a surprise. Cloud, is it more unwarranted and wildly provocative statements? No. Let me see in the bag. Okay, yes. It's a bag full of unwarranted and wildly provocative statements again. Yes, I bring it every time, I know. Cloud, if you were Felix the cat, your bag of tricks would be full of unwarranted, wildly provocative statements.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks, darling.
You're welcome.
The world is infected by Luciferian force. That's like some sort of like television show.
Luciferian force.
Luciferian force.
Luciferian force.
They should call the show Lucifer Fantastico and have it star the Luciferian force, which is like the police officers of hell.
That's good. I like that.
Hey, look, I'm sorry. You just, no. I know it's hell, but you still can't steal that guy's sandwich. I will no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world, the Satan, is coming. He has no claim on me. Huh. Okay, well, it's not clear which world the this is referring to here. Yeah, LSD will keep you awake there, CIA John P. Murphy.
Look so handsome, babe.
Thanks, darling.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? My ear pulling pose. It's one of my supermodel poses.
Oh, I knew it. It shows.
Okay, well, you and I are in agreement on this, that there is a sense in Christian spiritual truth that we are most well served when trying to manifest God's will in our own life rather than manifesting our own will and not caring what God's will is. So you and I are in agreement about what comprises a core vector of wickedness is hubris. But 2 Corinthians, in their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the God. All right, fine, horse mumbler, I can see the point. You're right. You have successfully proved it to me. Okay, fine. See, I guess Satan is the god of this world.
I love you so much.
But I still don't think that's the case.
No, I know.
I don't see the Bible as being the final arbiter of truth about Christianity. I think my intuition about Christianity is the final arbiter of truth about Christianity. Like everything else.
Like everything else. Spoken like a true 7. Hello, PNP. Our ISFP 4. Yes, you're an Enneagram 4. Because you're so evil. And important. It's a very important kid friend.
Back in the late 50s, a very far-seeing CIA INFJ officer implemented a secret coded plan called Last Ditch. And the plan was, what happened was back in the 60s, the CIA agent had so much foresight, he anticipated that one day an ESFP would be elected president. And so they put in millions of dollars in research, and they figured out how to cure ESFPs. And now here we have Trump, but guess what? The CIA can't agree to use the cure on Trump because, it might piss him off, I guess. He'd know if they use the cure on him, I guess. Yeah. You will know them by their fruits. So, okay. Is that saying you will know evil people by the product of their work? That's interesting, because according to Christianity, salvation is through faith, not actions. But you can determine the unsaved by actions. Look, I'm quite set in my religious perspective. I'm not going anywhere. I'm where I'm going to end. It'll probably become increasingly more magical thinking incorporation competent as I get older. Oh, Trump. Yeah, you're right. Where's my words? Fair enough to say that. But why would the Bible say that Satan is the god of this world when clearly Satan is not the god of this world? If Satan were the god of this world, it would be as though the Dark Friends and the Trollocs won in that book that we're reading. Everybody would be tortured all the time. Mm-hmm. There wouldn't be any pleasant stuff. Everything would all just be gaudy and artificial and plastic and horrible and awful. Yeah. Okay, Satan does not control humanity, Cloud. Why would anybody think Satan controls humanity?
Instead, 2 star-crossed lovers met over the internet. You and me.
Oh yeah, you and me.
That's pretty cray.
But here's the thing. Satan controls humanity. But Satan doesn't control humanity. He doesn't control me.
No.
It's like, is there really any part of humanity, any substantial part of humanity, who would go like, I'm going to get a Coke, and then in the back, inside their brain, Satan goes, "You are not getting a Coke, you're getting a Sprite." And they go, yes, Satan, the Lord of darkness. Oh, I got a Sprite, fine. I hate Sprite.
Oh my gosh, you really should try to do some stand-up sometime.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Is the force of God that is keeping things from complete evil. Okay, so I mean, I agree the Holy Spirit has a presence here, sure. But I do think that evil manifests in the world, but the majority of the time, it's the evil that happens when people aren't capable of objective self-criticism and accountability. So it's like it's an accountability avoidance syndrome is the engine of almost all evil in the world. Thanks, CJ. I mean, when we say that Satan is controlling the world in some sense, we're using a metaphor to try to claim that the more debased and less noble inclinations of humanity seem to be defeating the more noble and moral impulses of humanity. And I think that's a fair concern, fair thing to be worried about. I certainly am concerned about the world. I'm concerned about what I see, what I hear, concerned about the way that people argue and think. And by your works you shall know them, not judge them, after all. Fair enough again, horse mumbler. I stand informed further about this subject. Satan is the embodiment of will, power, and control. Well, here's the other thing, Club. It's not as though will to power, or at least it's not as though force of will is always bad. It's it's a delicate dance between the positivist magical inclinations, the positive magical indications that one derives from one's spiritual life, incorporating them with one's practical considerations and one's personal interests and stuff like that. It's a bit of a delicate dance. One of the things that makes Christianity, in my opinion, preferable to other religions is that it begins with the notion that you're never going to succeed at this, that everyone is a sinner. And as a consequence, it allows you to both accept that you're best served by doing God's will, and also accept that there will be plenty of applications of your own will in the world, and that your real guiding principle should be to make sure the latter is consistent with the former, rather than the former replaces the latter, per se. Yeah, James, I'm on your page kind of about this. If I weren't a Christian, I'd be a Satanist. Which is funny, but it's kind of true. If I weren't a Christian, then I wouldn't be softened by this magical thinking the way that I have, and I'd probably be a Satanist. But it wouldn't make me evil. It would just make me what you're saying, that I would believe that my will is paramount to everything, and that there is no magical will. It's like it'd be like that. But I mean, I think I could say that my spiritual engagement around the time when I quit drinking made me receptive to growth in general, in a way that I couldn't be when I was drinking. And then this YouTube channel proved to be the optimal environment for me to maximally attain growth. So it's been a pretty critical 6 years or whatever for me. A big changes in my life, huge changes. And I feel like I've lived a full life between my second marriage and now, even. It's like sometimes I almost forget about it. And I almost, in my history of my life, segue from Temple City back to Arcadia. I forget that there was 2.5 years in between when I was living in Laverne, So, Because basically my life's been Arcadia, and then college time, where I was at different places, then Temple City, and then back to Arcadia. So there's one other thing that's stuck in there that's not like the others, which is had this weird 2.5 years in Laverne. Everything else fits neatly into Temple City or Arcadia or college.
That's so funny.
Why are we basing our beliefs about the entire world off some book from centuries ago? That's not what I'm basing my Christianity off of. I don't derive Christianity from the Bible. I don't justify Christianity with the Bible either. And I don't concede that it's a belief of mine. In the sense that if it were a belief, then acknowledging that it's a belief of mine would be the same thing as saying I'm willing to affirm this belief argumentationally. And I don't think that's the case because it's not that kind of belief to be affirmed argumentationally. So I wouldn't call it a belief, really. Yeah, I'm really a Christian. Email that, Thrax. I mean, okay, I base my Christianity off the basic Christ story in the Bible, like the basic gist of it, like that Christ died for our sins, and that correct Christianity places a high priority on forgiveness, but also on accountability. That's what I like about Christianity. You know, it's like in Christianity, you get forgiven, but you have to be honest in your repentance and honestly feel bad and really try to not do it again. That's exactly how life should be. You know,
that's what it's supposed to. It is mostly just a book of teachings.
And it's like, you know, we see this in our relationships. I've been in relationships before where both people were keeping track of things they could use against the other person. So, like, Kimberly would say something, and I'd think to myself, you know, I bet I wouldn't be surprised at all later on if she were to get mad at me for doing the same thing. So I'm going to wait until she does. And I'm going to say, well, you said the exact same thing 2 hours ago. Like that shit, right? This insistence upon winning, having winning infused into justice creates a weird awfulness of a lack of forgiveness. If you're always trying to win some sort of battle, it means the game's never over. In a proper relationship, there are spats, fights, disagreements, or whatever bad moments. But once it's over, and it's not something that people don't want to use things against each other. People in a healthy relationship don't want to leverage their power against the other person. People in a healthy relationship don't want the other person to ever have to do anything they don't want to do. They don't want the other person to sacrifice. They want to reach consensus in which both parties are happy and get what they want. Mm-hmm. That's a healthy relationship. If you're in a relationship where somebody's trying to control you by leveraging their power against you, that's an unhealthy relationship. Like when Rachel's parents didn't want her to smoke pot in her room at their house in New York, and she defied that. At some point, they eventually took the door off of her room so she couldn't smoke pot in there anymore. Well, that's an example of just being awful.
Yeah.
It's like, stop trying to control this person, your daughter, in that way. She's expressed to you and proves to you time and again by defying this rule that she does not accept your insistence that she view marijuana as bad. So why don't you accept it instead, since it's her thing, not yours? Yeah, James, I get that. Okay, look. This is what I'm talking about, though. That's the badness of TE right there. A wicked person will say, well, look, my daughter is here. She should be supporting herself. She's not. That's how you tell somebody's wicked or not.
Wicked people use those arguments. Good people remember that they love the person, and that's more important than that stupid shit.
Yeah, and honestly, like I had a job and stuff. I was working at a real estate office. Like I was making good money. I was being a good
Were
kid.
you paying
Like
rent?
no.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. On that grounds, yes, you can win the TI argument there. That, well, you don't have a right, you're not entitled to, whatever. That's true. But what I'm saying is that good people don't
Yeah.
exercise that justification in order to do bad things.
Right.
And it is bad to force people. As a general rule, it is bad to force people. The only time in which it's legitimate to force people is when they've done a rights violating act of their own. Now, you could make the argument that smoking pot against the rules in a house not her own violates the rights of the homeowners, and you would win that argument as well. However, at the end of the day, she was proved right. She did have to defy because these people were willing to do things like take the door off her room, or even worse, make her stay outside from 9 to 9 every day, like a dog in the yard. So we can see that the dangers of TI or TE justifications when talking about how we treat other people. Right, James. That's what wickedness is. It's a failure to recognize that you are just as human as she in some specific regard that you're not thinking about right now. That we don't want to live in a world where people are looking to exploit advantages to force other people to do things.
Thank you, baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like it's also like this. Rachel at Christmas caused some damage in the garage.
Yeah.
I think I don't think she ever really heard about it at all from my dad. Maybe once or something mentioned something. Certainly neither of us would ever use that against her at any point. But most importantly, we're not taking measures we're not taking countermeasures to anything. We don't treat Rachel as though she's at risk for breaking rules, which if you're having to live in that frame, that's not a healthy environment.
No, it's not like that at all. Like your dad in Hawaii just asked. He was like, I don't know how you do it. Like traveling on like airplanes and everything. I was like, I have my medication. I take it. And he was like, okay, that's good. And, he laughed about it. It was more like that than it was like, see, now we need to have a talk.
Well, Cloud, I couldn't disagree with that quote more. It is not wisdom to say, I know that I know nothing. And that's just lying, right? I mean, everybody knows plenty of things. Knowledge is fine. But I do get the way that action types sort of inherently, especially younger action types, reject knowledge functions. If you're a dominant action function, you're going to kind of reject, express like, uh, stop trying to know things. Control your own destiny. Okay, well, fine. Figurative. We all know a small percentage of things. I know 6% of things. Rachel knows 8% of things. Cloud knows 8.5% of things. That's as high as it gets about. Cloud's at the highest percentage of things that he knows. Right? All told, I believe we counted them, and it's 842 trillion things that there are. So that's why we can all only know a small percentage of things.
Oh, that's good to know. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's a lot of things.
Oh, Sarah, you're so funny.
Hi, Octavia Silva.
Hey, Octavia Silva.
I think it is about time for me to take a bath. I've been talking about it for hours and hours now.
I'm going to take my medication.
Vox Day put it this way: the sim got broke by a psycho who ruined the game for everyone out of spite. The dev fixed it by sending in an avatar equipped with a hot fix get around for others. What is that the story of Jesus? Is that what you're saying? That's the story of Jesus?
What story, Jesus?
The simulation game got broke by a psycho, like a psycho player who ruined the game for everybody out of spite. The development team fixed it by sending in an avatar equipped with a hot fix get around for others. I think he's saying that's the Christ story.
I like that. I like that Christ story. He's very mechanical.
It's like, okay, this guy's too powerful. He's such a player killer. We've got to do something about this.
This is disciples.
So Nicholas Watson says that drinking alcohol on the plane is 3 times more potent. I don't believe that to be the case.
Couldn't the elevation somewhat alter?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's pressurized. The cabin's pressurized.
True.
So as far as your body can
True.
tell, you're not at altitude because it's pressurized to approximately sea level pressures. Of course, it's not perfect because that's why your ears pop going up and down.
Yeah.
But
so it wouldn't make that much of a difference then.
Yeah, but they pop less than they do if you go high up in the mountains. I think because you still have more pressure in the cabin than you do high up in the mountains. Okay, so who's going to judge? Let him judge us. Who's going to judge us? Who wants to judge me? Who wants to play Judge Judy? I think the quote about not knowing that all you know is that you don't know anything is attributed originally to Socrates or something. What do you need judgment on? Judge my haircuts. I need judgment. I need you to judge this haircut. I want a letter grade from F to A. True. Nobody knows more of the things that Cloud knows than Cloud does. That is true, Horseman Over. All right, let's see Octavia Silva's picture. Yeah, pretty good. There's some dark circles under my eyes. Oh, I look like I would talk like that. Oh, hello. Good job, Octavia Silva. I'm going to save this image as a meow. Octavio picture of Eric blue shirt. Blue shirted Eric, they call it. Blue shirted guy. He's a blue shirted wife. You cannot hold on to the Islamic or Gnostic lies. You need to believe that Christ was crucified and died for our sins and rose again. Notice why these other philosophies purposely strive. What do they strive? To try and censor his crucifixion act. Well, I kind of doubt that Cloud is believing Islamic or Gnostic lies, but he may believe things that are similar to stuff advocated by them, I guess. I don't know. It seems unlikely that
Cloud doesn't sound like a Gnostic to me. Well, what are Gnostic lies? I want to know what Gnostic lies are. You sentence my haircut to hard labor. I need a letter grade email answer, A through F. You just say you don't understand the point of crucifixion? Well, from the Romans' perspective, it was to execute people while concurrently scaring the populace into submission. From the Jesus perspective, the point of it was nailed into each of his two hands and both of his feet. Okay? A very pointy point.
You do a very good Jewish accent.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
As far as jewelry goes, here I'm going to let you know a little secret, Cloud. Those are actually a bunch of teas. It's not so much that Christianity is popular. You see all these crucifixes. It's the cult of tea. Those people worship Mr. T. They're pagans who worship Mr. T. That's why they have a tea and it's made out of gold.
I agree.
Easy mistake to make, though, Cloud. I don't want you to make that mistake at all. It's an easy one to make. A lot of people think Mr. T followers are actually Christians. I like to say, hey, it's Christianity's fault for using a T as a symbol.
There you go.
Pagans? They're blaspheming heathens. Pagans are the ones we launch crusades against. Who wants to do crusades? Who wants to go crusading? Come on.
That's amazing.
Grab your broadsword, grab your plate mail, grab your sturdiest battle mount. We're off to go crusading.
Yeah.
What is this? A mule? You can't ride a mule all the way to the Holy Land from here. You're not ready to go crusading. Ooh, cool, crusades. Let's go. Come on. Who wants to go crusading? Oh, really? I stand corrected again. Thanks a lot, Horse Mama, for just ripping me to shreds tonight.
Oh man, what? What happened?
Turns out that airplanes are only pressurized to about the same pressure as 8,000 feet elevation. That's what I get for assuming and make an ass out of me. Usually I make an ass out of you when I say that, but in this case it's me. You have ideas for cool medieval type weapons? Do you? Do you want to have a medieval weapons fight club?
Oh my gosh. That scares me.
Like, yeah, we'll put on plate mail to protect us, and then we'll swing morning stars and flails at each other. What do you think? It'd be great. It'd be so much fun. You know what? Forget the plate mail. That's just going to slow us down.
Yeah.
Let's just go with just regular clothes, but real, full morning stars, flails, and maces. No swords. Okay, that's too dangerous.
I agree. I have no swords because I've nicked myself on some knives today, so that goes with the times.
Anybody want to spar with these morning stars? Do a little morning star sparring? Don't hit me in the face or the balls with the morning star, please. It's got those really dangerous looking spikes on it. Well, King Christian Purdue, you missed the beginning of the world's first medieval weapons fight club.
Probably check Madonna's closet.
Yeah. Underneath the medieval weapons fight club name, though, it says in parentheses, no halberds.
What?
No halberds.
I don't know halberds.
No. Those are two, because well, they're like that. It's like a big like axe kind of thing on top of a very long stick.
Oh yeah. And these have points at the top of it.
Yeah, well, because they had this arrangement in battle where they'd have the hand-to-hand fighters up front with shields and swords, and when the other hand-to-hand fighters push up against them, the people with halberds would chop over the front of their guys and chop them with them.
Oh my god! Ah.
Yeah, so that's what halberds were for. And then, there were varying degrees of ranged weapons. So you had cavalry who were usually on horses with lances, and they had an advantage over people on the ground, either with a lance or with a sword. But a lot of times they'd lance each other because the enemy would have lance people too, right? They had cavalry with lances, they had halberders for the medium range, they had swords and shields for short range, and then they had archers for long range.
Wow.
And crossbows were between archers and halberds.
Jeez.
There's a lot of different ranged weapons. If you don't have gunpowder, then you've got to really manage the different ranges of fighting with creative weaponry. We're gonna have a medieval fight tonight. I'm gonna bring my halberd. Hey, no halberds. Longbows. Longbows. Okay, are we ready to end this live stream now?
Yeah.
I think so too.
I'm gonna take my medicine and probably start to go to bed.
I think Christ might just be a bastardization of the Mexican word Jesus. Possible. Yeah, no poison either, James. No poison, no halberds. That's not how you spell halberd either. It's Halberd. Halberd. Of course, if you're one-on-one against somebody and you have a halberd, even if you're far apart from each other and they have a sword, you're at a big disadvantage because, basically you got your halberd up and you have one chop, basically one chop at him. If you miss him with your first chop as he's coming towards you, if he dodges your chop, you won't be able to get it up to chop him again. He'll be too close. That's why you need swordsmen in front of you to handle their swordsmen. Okay, that's it. That's enough about halberds. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here. India, Kanye Christian Sampergill, I want you to recommend halberds to your government for their soldiers since you guys are fighting with medieval weapons right now against China.
Bye, guys.